Have you ever tried taking care of plants only to end up with a sad cemetery of pots? You're not alone. Most people think they just don't have a green thumb, but the truth is they might just be choosing the wrong plants. Some flowers act like they need therapy, emotional shade, and perfectly timed water droplets to survive. But what if I told you there are flowers that love the sun, bloom beautifully, and are almost impossible to kill? Sounds too good to be true, right? But that's exactly what you're about to discover here. These are flowers made for real life. Low maintenance, high impact. Whether you have a garden, a balcony, or just a sunny windowsill, these tough little bloomers can brighten your space without breaking your routine. Get ready to meet flowers that can handle scorching sun, dry soil, and even your forgetfulness, and still blossom like they're in a tropical spa. Some repel pests, others look like mini bouquets, and a few even tell time by the sun. After this list, saying I can't take care of plants won't cut it anymore. 1. Geraniums are like ready-made bouquets straight from nature. Their clustered petals give the impression of a floral arrangement in a single plant. They come in upright or trailing varieties, perfect for pots, garden beds, or hanging planters. They thrive in full sun and well-drained soil, and don't need constant watering. Want more blooms? Just deadhead the spent flowers. Upright geraniums add height to garden beds, while trailing ones spill beautifully from balconies and windows. Both love at least 6 hours of sunlight a day and prefer soil that dries between waterings. They're forgiving and flourish even with minimal care. Plus, they pair well with other sun-loving plants like petunias or marigolds. I remember my grandmother had bright red geraniums lined up on her windowsills. Every summer, they exploded in color, even though she barely watered them. If you want a flower that brings a nostalgic pop and is basically sun-powered, this one's your best bet. And speaking of sun-powered blooms with purpose, the next one has a secret superpower against garden pests. 2. Marigold are more than just pretty faces, they're little pest-fighting warriors in the garden. With bright orange and yellow tones, they look like flames among the greenery. But their real strength lies in their scent, which naturally repels pests like aphids and nematodes. Plant them around vegetable gardens and they'll act like floral bodyguards. They love full sun and tolerate poor soil with grace. Water when the soil dries out, but don't worry about babying them. They'll keep blooming for months if you remove the old flowers regularly. Marigolds also come in different sizes, from compact dwarf types to larger African marigolds that really stand out. Back when I had my first vegetable patch, I surrounded it with marigolds just for fun. To my surprise, they actually kept most bugs away while looking amazing. For beginner gardeners, this plant is a win-win. Low effort, high reward. And if you want something that adds soft texture and a pop of pink, the next flower is a gem. 3. False heather, Cuphe hyssopophilia, brings a delicate charm to sunny gardens. With its tiny lavender pink blooms and fine leaves, it almost looks like a miniature flowering bush. Despite its dainty look, it loves the sun and handles dry spells better than it appears. Still, it appreciates a light, well-drained soil and regular watering to stay vibrant. It stays compact, making it great for borders or small beds. False heather can bloom almost year-round in warmer climates. Just make sure it doesn't dry out completely. This one does better with consistent but moderate moisture. Mulching helps keep its roots cool and happy. I had one planted along a stone path, and it gave off this cottage garden vibe all season long. When paired with larger flowers or foliage, it acts as a graceful filler. Want something that brings that soft fairy tale look without much fuss? This is the one. But if you're into bold, colorful flowers that bloom like fireworks, wait until you meet the next one. 4. Petunia are the extroverts of the flower world. With colors ranging from deep purples to bright pinks and whites, they light up any space. Originating from Argentina, they thrive in mild climates but can handle summer heat, as long as they get some shade during peak hours. Ideal for hanging baskets and window boxes. They love rich, well-drained soil and need regular watering, especially in containers. Petunias reward you with non-stop blooms if you deadhead spent flowers. Some varieties are even scented, adding another layer to their appeal. They look great spilling out of elevated planters. I once filled an entire balcony with cascading petunias, and the color explosion was unreal. Every time someone walked by, they stopped to stare. If you want an eye-catching flower that performs like a champ in the sun, you can't go wrong with these. But speaking of performers, the next one was literally engineered to thrive in the heat. 5. Sunpatiens, Impatiens X hybrid, are like the solar-powered cousins of traditional impatiens. Developed to handle full sun and high temperatures, they keep blooming when regular impatiens would wilt. Their flowers are large and vibrant, and they come in bold shades like fuchsia, coral, and red. Perfect for garden beds or large containers. They like well-drained, moist soil and benefit from mulch to keep the roots cool. Give them space to spread and you'll be rewarded with lush, full plants. Unlike their shady relatives, these don't sulk in sunlight, they thrive in it. Water regularly and they'll keep going strong all summer. A friend planted sunpatiens along her driveway, and the result was like a red carpet of flowers. Even in the hottest part of the day, they stood tall and radiant. If you want maximum impact with minimum worry, this is your go-to. And now for a flower with blazing colors and a love for sunny spots. Say hello to Salvia. 6. Salvia is like a torch in the garden with bright spikes of red, purple, or blue. It attracts hummingbirds and butterflies, turning your yard into a lively sanctuary. This perennial enjoys full sun and tolerates dry conditions once established. Give it a trim after flowering and it might even bloom again. Best planted in clumps, it adds vertical interest and bold color. It likes slightly sandy, well-drained soil and does best when watered deeply but infrequently. Replant every 2 years to keep it fresh and full. If you're after a flower that works hard and looks stunning, Salvia delivers. My aunt had a patch of red salvia in her front yard and every morning, hummingbirds would visit. Felt like magic. Want to attract pollinators and add drama to your garden? This is the plant for you. And if you love flowers that follow the sun, wait till you hear about one that opens right on schedule. 7. Portulaca, Moss Rose, is a cheerful little plant that opens its flowers when the sun is at its brightest around 11 a.m., hence the nickname 11 o'clock flower. It thrives in poor soil and dry conditions, making it ideal for rock gardens, sunny borders, or hanging baskets. Its succulent leaves store water so you can forget a watering or two. There are ground cover types that spread like a colorful mat, and trailing ones perfect for hanging pots. They bloom in neon bright shades of pink, orange, yellow, and white. The key is full sun, the more the better. Overwatering is the only real danger. I once saw a windowsill overflowing with trailing portulaca, and it looked like a waterfall of color. The owner said she only watered it once a week. For low effort and big impact, this one's a star. And speaking of easy care, the next flower feels like a florist's bouquet that never wilts. 8. Kalanchoe is a compact succulent that bursts into clusters of small, vivid flowers. The standard version has single-petal blooms, but the Kalandiva type has rose-like double petals. Both are ideal for indoor pots or outdoor planters. They need bright sun, little water, and flower for weeks on end. Let the soil dry between waterings, and use a well-draining mix. They don't like soggy roots. Trim spent blooms to encourage more flowers. Want a pop of color with zero stress? This one's almost foolproof. My wife received one as a Mother's Day gift, and it bloomed for over 2 months. Now we keep them in different corners of the house. Want a resilient flower that behaves like a diva? Kalanchoe's your best bet. And now for something totally unique. A flower that looks like it came straight from the ocean. 9. Yellow shrimp plant, Pachystachys lutea. The yellow shrimp plant is a visual oddity in the best way. Its bright yellow bracts look like shrimp tails, and white flowers emerge like antennae. It grows like a small shrub, reaching up to 1.2 meters tall, and loves full sun or partial shade. Perfect for garden borders or large containers. It prefers rich, moist soil but won't sulk if it dries out once in a while. Prune it after flowering to keep it neat and encourage new growth. It's low maintenance, unique, and always a conversation starter. I had one growing near the patio and guests always asked, "Is that real?" It brought a tropical vibe with almost no effort. Want something eye-catching and quirky? Shrimp plant's your guy. But our final flower has something none of the others do. A deep personal connection. 10. Agapanthus, lily of the Nile, carries a quiet elegance with its tall stalks and spherical blooms in blue, violet, or white. It thrives in sun-drenched areas and blooms in mid to late summer. With minimal care, it returns year after year, stronger each time. It does best in loose, well-drained soil and needs space to spread. Water regularly but avoid soggy roots. They look amazing in rows or as border plants. Prune after blooming to promote next year's flowers. Once established, they need little attention. This one reminds me of my childhood. My mom had a garden full of them. Even after our dog dug them up one year, they came back more vibrant the next. If there's one flower that symbolizes resilience and grace, it's Agapanthus. Conclusion. Now that you've met these sun-loving, low-maintenance flowers, which one speaks to your style? Can you picture a sunny spot in your home blooming with vibrant colors, even if you forget to water now and then? These flowers prove that gardening doesn't have to be complicated. Just a little sunlight and the right plant go a long way. So, which one will you start with? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. There's a whole world of simple, beautiful gardening tips coming your way. Your perfect garden might just start with one pot.